people. I know nobody's here right now. I don't got one of them channels yet. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I don't know. This is hard. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I just titled it that because I got my hair covered today, and I probably won't be uncovering it because no, it doesn't look good today. But I want to talk about why I support bonnets in public. I support head wraps, scarves. This is just a scarf I got from the Dollar Tree. I got like 20 of them. They costed $1, and I can just, if I get this one dirty or sweaty or product all in it, I can just throw it in the laundry and put on a clean one the next day. So that's why I like these, because they're really cheap, and you need a lot of them, really, especially if you sweat a lot. I sweat a lot. So anyway, um, my hair is a mess, and I won't be unwrapping it today, but for locks, because I don't have any locks right now. Give me a little bit. I'll have them again. I'm gonna keep cutting my hair and growing it back out and cutting it and growing it back out so I can show y'all that it's just gonna keep growing. It's just gonna keep growing whether it's locked or not if you do the bare minimum, which is clearly what I got going on today. I just put my scarf on and that's literally it. My client's super late, so if he show up, we just gonna, you know, probably do his hair, and y'all can hang with me if y'all want to. I'm probably gonna have to ask him if he wants to be live, but he like super late, so he gonna be live. But uh, so with locks though, because every room, okay, let's start at the beginning. You know how you go to your grandma's house and she ain't got the lamps on because it's the daytime, it's bright outside, so she got all the blinds and the windows open, and you can just like see the dust. You see the dust just floating in the air. Like every room you're ever standing in, there's dust floating in the air. When you're outside, there's stuff floating in the air. When you're inside, though, there's always something floating in the air. You know what that is? That's dead skin cells. Dead skin cells everywhere you go are floating in the air. They're coming off of your skin, they're coming off your family's skin, they're coming off of whoever lives at the house that you're at skin, or whoever lived there before skin. It's floating in the air. We're breathing it in. It's always floating. There's always, if the sun hits the room the right way, you'll see it. There's always dust floating. That is coming off of our bodies, coming off of our scalps. But the reason why I support covering your hair in public, if you don't have to look good, I don't care. Who cares what these people think about how you look? If you don't have to look good, who am I? Am I trying to look good for somebody? No. I'm at work. Nobody's even looking at me. They're looking at the TV. They're looking at their phone. I'm behind them. Nobody's looking at me. What do I need to look cute for? Why does my hair need to be uncovered? Why do I need to be collecting dust in a room, getting dirty in a room where I'm not necessarily trying to be cute right now? So why am I getting dusty? I don't want to collect dust and have to wash my hair sooner because I've been trying to look cute, and so I want my hair. If I don't need to look cute, if I'm at work or if I'm at home or if I'm somewhere doing something where I don't need to look cute, then I don't care what you think about how I look because I'm not here for you. I'm not here for you. I'm here for me. I have things to do, and I don't need to look cute, so I'm not going to be trying to look cute. I'm going to cover my hair so I don't be collecting excess dust that's in the air. Now, let me tell you something about that dust that's floating for people that use oil. See, we don't do the oil, and by oil, I mean anything, any food-based oil, olive oil, coconut oil, any argan oil, jojoba oil, Moroccan oil, Blue Magic is heavy grease oil. I mean, the Do Grow oil, the Frenchies, anything that supposedly Miracle Grow, that's oil. I mean, petroleum jelly. I mean, what else do I mean? I mean, edge control in a major way. I mean, edge control in a major way. That junk blocks your scalp instantly. I mean, anything that you put on your scalp that stays there. Really, anything that stays without, and that's hard to get off with soap, which is all the oils, all the greases, all the petroleum and mineral based products. They're all very heavy and very blocking on the scalp. But they're not moisturizing. Let's be clear. They're never moisturizing. They are sticky. Oil is sticky. It doesn't moisturize anything. Moisture comes from water. Moisture comes from water. Oil It's sticky. So when you're in a room without your scarf on now and you got oil all over your head, grease, whatever you put on it, some spray, shine spray, that's greasy. Like, oil sheet is greasy, but it also has oil, so it's drying too. It's like it just really makes your hair dirty. It's what it does. It makes your hair dirty, and it makes it dirty faster than everybody else's. Because even if you cover your hair most of the time, whenever it's uncovered, anytime it's uncovered, because it's so sticky with all that oil, it collects dust fast. It collects dust. Like, most people can just bend over and shake their locks out and get any dust out of it. But when you have oil on it, you can't do none of that. Everything that you pass through gets stuck. Any dust, any dander, any pet hairs, any pollen outside, like everything that you pass through gets stuck in your hair when you have oil in it. So that's why I hate it. That's one reason why I hate it. Another reason why I hate it, since we here and I don't got nothing else to do, another reason why I hate oil is because your scalp is making its own oil. Your scalp is shedding dead skin cells. Remember those dead skin cells we were talking about that floating in the air? They're coming off your scalp too. You got 500 million dead skin cells coming off of your body daily. Some of that's coming off your scalp every day. Now, like I said, you can bend over and shake that out if you don't have oil. But if you have oil, not only can you not shake yours out, but now the oil that your scalp makes is also stuck down there. And the sweat that comes out of your scalp is also stuck down there. So now you got dead skin cells, oil, and sweat all piling up underneath this layer of grease. And then wondering why your hair is itchy and flaky in 3 days, talking about it's dry. It's dirty. It's dirty. It's all kind of crap in it. What do y'all want from me? I'm tired. What do y'all want from me? It's dirty. It's dirty. It's sticky. It's collecting everything you walk through because it's so sticky, and so it gets dirty faster than the average person's would. The stuff that you normally flake away naturally would just flake loosely away, and microscopic flakes is what you're supposed to be shedding. When you add oil to it, they get clumped together and they get really thick really fast. The oil that your scalp makes is not going to make them clump together as fast. 4 to 6 weeks is when your natural scalp oils are going to make it flake. 4 to 6 weeks. And so you could avoid that by not going that long between washing your hair and getting it done. I mean, I'm just saying. You don't have to. I'm just saying, if you don't want no itchy, flaky, wash it before it gets that bad. Or clean your scalp off. You can clean it with a damp washcloth. Before it even starts to get oily, with your own natural oils, you can just flake away. Like, one of my clients was just telling me, he just bend over and he shakes his hair out and he can see the flakes coming out. It's coming off his scalp. It's supposed to be barely visible like you see it in the sunlight. Like, if you clump it together with oil, don't be mad when your scalp is itchy. Don't be saying it's dry, because it's not. That's not dry. They told us on them commercials, buy this oil, because when your scalp is itchy, it's dry, and they was lying. They lying. Listen, that don't help. It creates the problem it's supposed to be fixing. That's all I'm saying. It's you're supposed to be, oh, my scalp is itchy, so it must be dry, so let me put this oil on it. And then it's itchy again tomorrow. Itchy again, from what people tell me, itchy again in a couple of hours. Does it seem like it's helping? It might feel good for a moment. So would water, but that's another thing. People saying their hair feels dry after 4 weeks. It hasn't been washed for 4 weeks now. Hasn't been washed for 4 weeks. But okay, it's dry. You've been walking through dusty rooms every day for 4 weeks. Okay, though, it's dry. All right, let's go with that. It's dry. Where am I? Can I sit somewhere? We need to sit down. Oh, I got something. So, because I don't know if this boy gonna make it to this appointment today. He real late. I'm gonna have to work with the speed of the flash. Okay, so 4 weeks. Hasn't been washed. It got washed and retwisted 4 weeks ago. Now it feels dry. It was dry when you left the salon though. But it was feeling fine. It was dry when you left, but it was fine. 4 weeks later, it's dry. No. You've been walking through dusty rooms. You didn't have something covering your head. So if you're in a room, it's collecting dust. If you don't have a scarf on, it's collecting dust. So after 4 weeks of collecting dust in every room you've been in, if people say, well, if I shouldn't use oil, should I use water? Water is what would treat dryness. That's how you affect dryness with water. But if it's been 4 weeks and you've been collecting dust, right? Essentially, that's dirt, right? Dust, if you're collecting dust, that's dirt. So if you put water onto hair that's dirty, hair that needs moisture, if you put water on it, that would seem to fix it. But people saying, well, water doesn't fix that at 4 weeks. Well, you've been walking through dusty rooms every day for 4 weeks. If you add water to that, water's gonna dry. That's what water does. Eventually it evaporates, it dries. If you don't purposely dry it, it's still gonna dry out. They call it air dry. Is it gonna dry? When it does dry, if your hair feels worse than it did before you put the water on it, that's because you just made mud. Water and dirt equals mud. I need y'all to come with me and work with me. Water plus dirt is mud. So if it's been 4 weeks, it's not dry. It was dry when you left the salon. It is dirty now, and it's time to wash it. So either cover your hair more often so you're not collecting dust in every single room you're going in, because some rooms you don't want to collect dust in. Like if you at home with your mom and your family and your grandma and everybody cooking for Thanksgiving and y'all just in there cooking, of course you're going to cover it then. So whenever else you at the house cooking, it could be covered. Whenever else you at the house chilling, it could be covered. I could get it if you don't want to wear it in public, but I'm going to wear my scarf in this shop, because who going to stop me? If they be like, I don't want you to do my hair because your hair always under a scarf. Okay. They ain't gonna say that. They could care less of how I look. They care about what I'm gonna do for their hair. And I'm telling you, I need more people to be on board with what we got going on, because it's better. It's better. The hair is happier. The hair grows faster, longer. The hair is light. The hair is fluffy. The hair is not stiff and hard. Oil does that. Oil makes it stiff and hard. Don't put that mess in your hair. It's hard to get out as it is. Soaking in apple cider vinegar ain't gonna do it. That don't get it out. I'm about to, actually, I got a video I gotta edit, which I ain't gonna do that much editing. So y'all gotta work with me on that one. But it's going to be of me shampooing, because one of my clients, well, it was a new client, because I don't like that. But he said he puts oil in every other day, and he went to work for 2 days at a new job. It was some sort of factory where they got like some kind of yellow food dust. So I don't know if it's Cheetos or what. It's some kind of yellow food dust floating in the air. He was only there for 2 days. He said he's gonna start wearing his do-rag from now on while he's in there, because some jobs will let you, they know it's stuff floating in the air. But he said he's gonna start wearing his do-rag and to work, but like, it was so much yellow stuff in his hair, you could just see me wringing it out at the shampoo bowl. You can see me wringing it out. If his hair wouldn't have been covered in oil, because he putting it in every 2 days, it wouldn't have had so much in there. Like, you're gonna collect dust normally, but you're not gonna collect that much dust. Oh, I'm glad you made it. We gotta get a move on it. I'm live on YouTube. Do you care?
No.
All right, cool. Good, because we need to go straight to the shampoo bowl. It's in the, let me make sure I put this right. You got a charger? Yeah, you can just plug it up in. This plugs everywhere. We're gonna be right here though. I gotta make sure this is. Oh, I gotta put this right. Okay. I'm about to lock this door so you can put it wherever you want. I gotta put this in. Yep, we're gonna be right there. And we're just about to go on here and just go with Miss Tiff today and do some just whatever life. I'm gonna just see how long I can go live before my phone dies. I might need to borrow yours. I'm trying to get this thing tight. Can y'all see? All right, so I was just talking about oil is bad, okay? That's all I was saying. Oil is awful, horrible, awful thing. Say it again now. Is it charger? Oh, you on the phone? Well, follow me. I'm ready. I'm so glad that you was able to ski on up here, because now I'm gonna have to rush a little bit, because I know that hair was long and I saw some color on the ends, but I think that haircut might help us out a little bit on time. But we're gonna see. As long as you here, I know you ain't want to lose that deposit now. I ain't want you to either, but here's the thing. I can't be sitting here not working. Go ahead, sit on down. I don't get paid to sit here. Nobody gonna give me nothing if I don't work for it. So, but you'll learn that. You young. You was at school?
Yeah.
You just had to hop out of school? Why you make your appointment so early? Are you off on Thursdays?
Yeah.
Well, how you end up making it on a Wednesday?
I thought it was Thursday. But I thought it was
I don't know. I didn't see that. I mean, I didn't, you know, I don't be knowing people's schedules. You know, I need y'all to know that. I set up a little bit. I gotta put this stuff on. All right, lean on back. Try to find a spot on your neck that doesn't hurt. There's a spot like right below the ears.
I got 2 hair ties.
All right, I'll get them. I'll find them in there.
My hair's on my side.
I'm worried about these ends. You know, they don't comb through very easily, do they? Is that why you want to lock it?
Yeah, my hair's.
When's the last time you combed it?
Probably when I got a haircut. So.
You want those? I mean, I don't want you to use them, okay? For at least 2 months. I don't want you to use the hair ties. Tying them up while they're still not locked yet can like affect how they lock, right? If they end up lumpy or parts that aren't locking because the hair's been pulled out, they need to kind of stay in position. Cover them, uncover them, and just kind of leave them alone besides that.
Or a bonnet when I go to sleep, right?
Cool. Bonnet, do-rag, scarf, whatever, you know, works for you. Something, whatever you can get to stay on. I prefer something that ties my hair flat. I think that, but flat right now, if you got a bonnet, a bonnet is better because bonnets, you don't want it to make your brand new ones flat. Now, once they start locking, then you can lay them flat. Well, we won't be flattening them today, but I told you about your curl pattern. It's a little looser than the guy in the picture, so your locks are gonna make slightly thicker locks than what you saw. And that's because if you try to make them that size, they'll do all right for a while, and then they'll break off.
Yeah, I told you.
Nice. So I don't usually set people up for failure, but people will. So I'm trying to change that. That's the whole reason why I have a YouTube channel at the current moment. And I don't know if they can see anything. So I must. I don't even know. What do you see?
I think this is good.
Okay. I mean, I wore it a couple times over here, but I really don't know how it's gonna act. But I really probably could pull it up. But I'm gonna get your conditioner going. They're gonna be all right. There's nothing too complicated about washing loose hair. I do videos about washing locked hair all the time because that's like hard for people to do. You said when? Hold on. When did you say was the last time you combed it out?
A week ago.
Okay. That'll be okay, I think. I could just, after you leave it, if you don't comb it for a while, it starts to lock anyway. It starts to lock on its own. That's what makes it lock. The hairs that shed every day. Oh, we got about a week of them in there.
Yeah, I watched the whole video throughout.
Nice. Thank you. I appreciate it because I did that for a reason. Because a lot of times people would come to get starter locks and then I would do what it is that I do and they'd be like, well, that's not what I was. Yeah, they wanted something else. And so I just need to make it clear what I'm about to do so you can decide if that's what you want to do. Because everybody don't want to, and that's okay. But I need them to know that before they get here, not after. Canceling at the last minute really sucks for the schedule. See, when it gets matted together, then it gets hard to get to the scalp. I really need to scrub the scalp. That's the most important place to scrub because that's where the oils that your scalp makes are coming out at. And so that's where and the sweat and the dead skin cells, that's where all that stuff comes out at. So that's like the most important part to wash. But it's hard to get to it when it's matted. That's kind of like the beautiful part about locks is that you can get to your scalp so much easier than you can when it's afro. There's a couple days without combing an afro and It's hard to find the scalp.
That's like the one thing I hate about my hair. It's so
It just tangles up on you.
yeah, it's so annoying.
Yeah. Well, you would have to do this daily. Like if my hair was this long, I would wet it in the shower and detangle it daily with my hands, just to keep it from ever getting matted together. Especially with the color, because color makes it hard to comb. But you don't have to worry about combing after today.
The only reason I don't leave my hair out in like curls anymore is because it's way too long and I could barely see anything.
Oh no, you could just wet it and then
Yeah.
you have to let it. So this is what I did when I had long hair and I was trying to grow it. Because when I'm not worried about growing my hair, I do whatever I want. But when I'm worried about growing it, I would wet it in the shower every day. I would only comb it with my fingers. I put like a conditioner on it. Even if I put it in a ponytail, which really is why I don't have no edges. But here goes some of the hairs that have been shedding over the past couple of weeks. Or the last week, you said. So it might not be that many. Because 1 week don't usually leave too much. But I'm telling you, 2 weeks can get you some almost locks. I'm telling you. There's people that like are locking in 2 weeks. But that's really, so curl pattern really determines all of that. And it's really because when you have a curl and then hairs shed that are also curly, they tangle before they can get out. And so that's really what makes it lock. And so when you have a looser curl pattern, the hairs that shed are easier to get out. So with a looser curl pattern, if you want it to lock fast, you're really going to want to focus on keeping it covered whenever you possibly can. Which is kind of what I named this video, because I named the video that I support bonnets in public. Because see, here I got my scarf on. Listen, I don't need to be collecting dust right now. And for you, it will be, I don't need to be losing hairs that are shedding, because you're going to want to keep everything that sheds in there. That's what makes it lock faster. Anything, when those hairs escape, they slow down the locking process. I even hate taking them out right now because I know, but they're not organized. And so if they're not organized, it's just going to be locking all kind of ways. You're going to end up with Jay-Z's thing. Well, you got a looser curl pattern, so it's going to do something a little bit different than Jay-Z's. But still, something like that just matches together and does this rug situation. So that's the difference, is we just organize them. And then, do you use anything on your hair?
Don't have anything on my hair?
Do you use anything on your hair, like regularly?
Not usually.
All right, do you tend to make a lot of oil on your scalp, like coming out of your scalp?
Yes,
you notice that?
Like sometimes it might be really oily, and sometimes it's just small.
No, it just kind of depends on how much time you put before you wash it again. Yeah. Because it just makes that over time. So it tends to start building up after a while.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to find out, how often do you feel like you need to wash it? Because, you got like the mixed hair. They call it the good hair. But for me, for locks, it's not the greatest. It kind of locks a little bit slower. And a lot of times people say that they couldn't. Now, I can get it to lock. It's just you got to be a little more patient than the super tight afro, because it takes a little while. But being that it's really long, it's going to stay. It just might not look like locks for longer than, some of your friends might. But they will. Everybody knows what this is now. Everybody knows when they see this, they know what's happening. So they're definitely going to lock. You just got to have a little patience. But really, if you keep those hairs that shed from getting out, so that means putting it in ponytails, pulling it, because when you pull them, they'll kind of spring up a little bit. You can do that the first day. But after that, you really don't want to be messing with them. You want to cover them, uncover them, and kind of leave them alone. Because anytime, like if the furniture touches them, if you touch them, if, anything that happens to them, really, hairs will be trying to escape. The looser hairs be trying to get out easier. That's why, straight hair, the white people, they have a hard time getting theirs to lock. They will. Theirs just takes longer. Like it takes theirs like 10 years, like to actually look like locks and not like a braid or... They doing that Insta-lock thing now, but that doesn't look like locks. Like, it looks different. Like, you can tell. So it's like, it kind of look like locks. But no, it's not. And those, they have to keep doing that because they still be trying to unravel. They still be trying to come loose for like 10 years. Like, the only ones that I've seen that really look good be like 10 years old. And I'm like, dang, that's too hard now. That would be too hard for me. I don't know if it would be worth doing that much.
But shoot, it's still locked. You just, it's harder for them. So, and that's why I was asking you about how often your scalp makes oil, because I noticed with the looser curl patterns, just like, okay, so with straight hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
They wash their hair like they wash their hair like every day, because the scalp gets like the not only does the scalp make oil faster, but it like gets it like runs right down the hair, and it makes the hair stiff and hard and greasy right away. So they wash it often, and I feel like with the mixed hair, I feel like my scalp gets oily faster than most of my clients. Like I feel like I need to wash mine more often. So like I'll use like a damp washcloth when I have my hair locked. I'll use like a damp washcloth and clean my scalp in between the parts if I'm not trying to wash it yet, because my scalp be feeling oily in a few days. It feel like once a week I need to wash it, and
Yeah.
that's because my oil travels better out of the follicle. Like I feel like, because in hair school they teach us that the follicles on straight hair are perfectly round, and that the follicles on curly hair, super tight curly hair, is flat, and that the medium curls, like the looser curls, are like oval. So it makes sense to me that the oil would travel faster out of oval and perfectly round than it would a flat follicle. The hair has a harder time traveling out of a flat follicle too. So it explains a lot, this science. And that's where I be trying to get everybody on. We need to get on the same page about the science. Because, like, we could all just have long hair. Like, it's really not a thing. Unless we don't want long hair. Like, it should be a choice. It shouldn't be I'm struggling to get it to grow. And, this grow oil. I love this grow oil. Like, no, no. I can't be saying I love this grow oil and my hair not growing. That don't work. Those don't go together. But
I
yeah.
feel like my hair just naturally grows fast, so I never
Yeah,
tried
well,
it.
and that's another thing that I noticed with the looser curl, with the oval hair curl, and so same as with the round one, with like straight hair. It's the follicle makes it easier for the hair to pass through.
Mm.
But with locks, I've been able to catch up all the people with the tight curl pattern, just like my family and my little sister. We struggled to grow her hair every other way for years, but with locks, her hair done passed mine up multiple times over. Right, her hair grows way faster than mine with locks. With me without locks, I have to lock my hair to try to keep up with her. Yeah. So, but when we were kids, my hair was just ridiculously long, and hers was struggling all the time. But my hair didn't break when you put oil on it, because that's what they were doing. But my little sister's hair broke when you put oil on it. It clumps together, it gets hard, it gets stiff, it blocks moisture, which it needs water, and it blocks it. So you can't even get moisture out of the humidity outside if you put oil all over it. So, because that's another thing about wearing bonnets. If your hair is covered in oil, everything sticks to it. It makes it dirty really fast.
Mm.
And don't nobody want dirty hair fast. You want to be able to wait a while. But I don't know. Most of my looser curl with the mixed hair
Mm-hmm.
usually make it about 3 weeks before they feel like they need to wash. Versus, the super tight afro curl can be about 6 weeks before it feels itchy and stuff.
Mm.
Because the scalp's making its own. Now the people that use oil, they can't go 2 weeks before they they can't go 2 weeks before they itching and scratching. So it makes a difference. Trying to comb this hair out with the water. Okay. So we got a condition today. This is a reconstructor. I do not use conditioner on locks because when they're first trying a lock, it like makes them soft and makes loose hairs come out, right? So I'm trying to keep all those hairs. And then once they're locked, I don't use it because it gets trapped inside. And then it's like something that's oozing out when you wash it. I mean, when you twist it. But I do use it on today, the first day when we're starting them, because it makes it easier to get the comb through. And I need to get the comb through. maybe like a week and a half.
That's a lockup.
No, she combed it last. For how much hair I got out. I can estimate a lot of things just based off of the stuff that I know. I can estimate. But I pretty much got all the hair out. I'm gonna get the rest out when I'm putting them in. Okay, let's go. Meet me at that chair I showed you. That first one, yep, where you put your book bag at. I'm right behind you. That's the one. I can walk. There's a lot of walking I gotta do in here, and it hurts sometimes. So I made that whole thing fall down. Oops. Probably upside down. But anyway, we have things to do. What time is it? Oh, I'm gonna have to show skills today. So now you know this area around the sides, you can wash this, but you gotta hold your hair up out the way. You can always wash that, but. All right, is this up above the, yep. All right.
You know, like how many is gonna be yours is right.
Oh, I have no idea. But the top with yours, probably somewhere around 30 with this loose curl. Yeah, maybe. I did the top of mine once where it was just the top, literally like yours is, cut like this. And I think I only had 25. But I don't know if your hair, your hair looks looser than mine. I'm gonna be honest with you. It looks looser, but I've never been able to completely like get mine right. So 25 might not have been a correct number for how many should have been up there, which is why I always either comb them out or take them down. Comb them out or cut them off. Lately, I've been really fond of being bald-headed, so I did the bald all around the sides and was just like, why do I have this hair at the top? Like, what is this? What am I trying to prove? Like, I prove what I can do with hair on my clients. I don't need to wear it to prove it, especially since I can't do for me what I can do for y'all anyway. I have never been successful at putting a set of locks in my hair and they being healthy. And once I realize it's not healthy, I'm not keeping it. And so it just is what it is. I've had a decent set of extensions once, but I'm not particularly fond of the extensions either. And they weren't good extensions. Well, I don't even want to say good extensions. I have yet to find any good extensions, but they weren't those Instalock extensions because, like I said, those don't even look like real locks, so I don't like them. So I just use those cheap crochet ones that they have at the store. They look more realistic, even though they're like really crappy hair. So they kind of end up falling apart eventually anyway. You can't really keep those permanently. It's not human hair. But I did attempt to. And one time I took them down and my locks looked nice. So I really could have kept that set because I had kept them for a while, like 6 months. And then, but instead I made a YouTube video combing them out. So it's like, I use my hair as opportunities to show people stuff, even though they always be talking about how my hair is different. Ain't that different? Yours quite looser than mine, but mine is an afro right now. That's the main reason for my scarf today. It looks crazy. I look like Yu-Gi-Oh or Dragon Ball Z or somebody. I was thinking about doing that for Christmas because my hair is like sticking straight up towards the sky. And ain't nothing I can do with it if I don't wet it. And I'm planning on coloring it tonight, so I can't wet it. I was actually planning on coloring it last night, but I ended up scratching it a couple times, and I don't want to be hurting myself. So I had to put it off, and now I can't let my hair curl back up. I can't get it wet, or it's gonna have to start the whole cycle over again, and I don't want to. I don't want to. I just want to put the stupid bleach on and get it off me. That junk burns.
You just gonna bleach or you gonna dye?
So in the hair field, we don't ever say dye. There isn't a such thing as dye. We either lighten it, which is bleaching, or color it, which is what people call dyeing. So I'm going to lighten it with bleach. But yeah, I guess dye would be adding color and bleaching is removing color. But yeah, well, it looks like you bleached it.
Yeah. I'm talking about like, because I bleached my hair like months ago.
Well, the color that's bleached can be any color. And, whatever you put on it, it's going to just fade off eventually. And then you can use something else. I would recommend a something that doesn't use any peroxide so that it doesn't lift it any further because it doesn't need to be lifted anymore. If you lift it anymore, it won't hold on to any color. But these little ends will hold on to. Right now, you can put any color on the rainbow on there, and just if you don't like it anymore, you can just wait and it'll fade out. Or you can use dish detergent to remove it. It's gonna make your hair feel a little rough, but it'll be all right. But yeah, once you lighten, you can use any color. It's just what color were you gonna go besides the blonde?
Silver.
Oh, well, you're already silver. All you got to do is use the right toner.
Yeah.
I could shampoo it next time with some purple shampoo. It'll do
that. When I first bleached it, I don't remember. It was months ago. And it was my brother that did it. And it looked like silverish gray. And then over time it just turned yellow.
Yeah, so the toner just wore off. Yeah, you got to tone it out. Let me see what this looks like right now. Okay, let's go back. Cool. You want to see it? Hey, I see that. Is it working? It is. I gotta turn the sound off though. Because it's gonna be an echo. And this is you. This is us. And somebody asked, can hard locks be softened? And the answer to that is it depends on what made them hard. So Some of them, I mean, if it's hard from like color, it's not a whole lot that's going to change them. If it's hard from oil, no longer using oil and stripping the oil that is in there out will make them softer. But you gotta, I wouldn't even waste my time stripping the oil out for somebody that's just gonna put more in. It's just a waste of time. It takes a lot of time to strip all that oil out because you gotta squeeze it. But oil makes them really hard and stiff, and they call it dry, and then they put more oil on. The whole time, the oil was the one that was making it hard and stiff and brittle in the first place because it's blocking what it needs for moisture, which is water. Oil and water don't mix; it blocks it. So it's science, and it's masquerading as art. It's science masquerading as art. A little math too. A little math in there too. Your scalp's going to be happy to get some air. That's my favorite thing about them, is that because my hair always feels like a hat, it's so thick that whenever I part it up and lock it up, boy, I finally get some air on my scalp. It's amazing. It's a great feeling. Whenever I know you probably had the same problem. Braids like get frizzy fast. Yeah. It's because that curl is loose. That stuff, it just works better with super tight afro hair, which is why when people ask me what good hair is, I tell them it's the afro stuff, the super tight stuff, because I'm telling you, I could tell it what to do and it'll just stay there. It don't move. That loose curl be doing its own thing sometimes. Especially them flyaways. I don't understand how I can have an afro and flyaways at the same time. That doesn't even, mathematically, it doesn't. How can I have both? I feel like it's the worst of both, you know? It's not the best of both sides. It's the worst stuff of both sides. The stuff that everybody hates, that's what I got. All those. So I don't know why people was telling me it was good hair, because it ain't never did what it was told. And to me, good hair is like a good kid. It does what you tell it to do. And mine don't. And this bleached hair ain't really trying to do much of nothing either. So you can go ahead and expect that they're going to give you a little bit of trouble. But, so did I show you the video about locks and starting locks in long hair?
No.
Just the starter lock video?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a video that I got that I probably should have sent you about starting locks and long hair because, so we talked about hair locks because it sheds every day, right? Well, it sheds out of the scalp, like individual hairs fall out of the scalp just naturally. Well, they get stuck a lot of times before they make it all the way down to these ends. You got about, let me measure it real quick, because it's looking like, I don't know, 12 to 14 inches here. I'm gonna measure it, but I need that water. Let me hobble my butt over here and get this water, because these guys are gonna act funny if I don't. Okay. What was I saying? So, what was I talking about before I went to get that water?
The longer lock.
Okay, so yeah, so when the hair sheds, it sheds out of the scalp. And so when it sheds out of the scalp, and this is provided that you get it done. When it sheds out of the scalp, I'm going to wash it, but I can't put full pressure because it'll wash them out. But I'm going to put, like, I'm going to see how much pressure they can take without washing out. And then I'm going to put the water pressure on it, and then I'm going to push water into it, and water should push the hairs down. But they're going to get stuck pretty quick. They don't get stuck. They don't wash all the way down. Like, even when I'm twisting, I try to pull them down as far as I can get them, but they don't. They tend to get stuck around 3 to 4 inches. With yours, if I wash them in 2 weeks, I can probably get the hairs down to 4 to 5 inches down the lock. But usually they get stuck somewhere up in here. somewhere up in the 3 to 4 inch mark, which is like, let's see if the video catches up with me. I want to measure it while I do that. Let me see. So this comb is 7 inches. And then where's the one at? There it is. So we're at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's like 13 inches. So, yeah, if you got 13 inches, prepare for it to not make it all the way to the ends. Now, eventually it does, but you'll have locks up in here somewhere, up in the center already forming. You'll see the buds right away in there, and the locks will form from there. It takes a while to make it to the ends, to where the ends are fully locked. So the ends kind of, they either stay a curl for a while. They usually stay a curl for a while, and then eventually kind of be fuzzy for a while. They're going to be frizzier than the rest of it. You don't have to cut it. You can cut it, but I imagine with your color, you probably don't want to cut your color off, but it is tangling up in my comb. But I could, the ends will probably they'll be there longer. They'll be looking more like a curl longer than the rest of it. Once everything else starts to lock, you'll be like, well, these ends still, just go on and expect that. You can cut it, but it's not necessary to cut it. It's still going to just do its thing. And you could just let it do its thing.
What do you think is better, to cut it and then dye it again once it's already locked up?
You said cut it and dye it again? Yeah, you could do that.
Cut it and then dye it.
Yeah, you could do it. You could do that too. Because, I mean, this color is not going to, like, you're not going to see very much of it. Once it's actually locked, you're not going to, it's only like 2 inches, maybe 3 inches on the ends. You're not going to see it. When it's fully locked, it's going to be looking like the very, very bottoms. Have a little bit of, is it light on the end? That's what it's going to be. Are those tips like barely? Yeah, it's going to be the very, 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 very littlest bit of it.
Yeah, I'm going to just cut it.
See how you feel about it when it starts to lock. Because some people like it and some people don't. And so having extra length is going to keep it from unraveling. Like, because even if you sweat and stuff and it unravels a little bit at the scalp, it's not going to be able to unravel this whole thing, especially not with this color, because I'm telling you, it's very hard to get that untangled after it tangles. This guy's already poofing out on me. I don't know. I might have to. I don't want to make them too much bigger than this, okay? You kind of see the size? Yeah. It's just if they be swelling, if they swell up past that, then I got to make them bigger. So I'm trying to make sure that this is right. Because if they swell up bigger than the part, then it's like, okay. You can't. If you make it smaller, they will lock eventually, but it's going to take way longer, and then they're going to start sliding off. It's just, if you make them too little. And, if you make them too big, then they struggle with everything. So you'll know right away if they're too big, because they'll unravel right away. So the swelling up is how you know when the parts are too small, if the lock, like this one's trying to do, like if it tries to swell up bigger than the size of it. But I feel like this might just be, no, you only colored the ends, but the ends are, like, you can see these curls are definitely a little bit bigger than the rest of it. So, and that's what bleach and stuff does, which is, why you gotta be aware of it when you're not locking hair, because it does change the texture. So combing through it gets harder, which makes it more likely to break. But when it's locked, you don't have to worry about color so much. So yeah, you could easily color it when it's locked. That's not really right. just takes a lot more product. That's pretty much the main thing with coloring locks is you gotta completely saturate them with color, and that takes more than it would if it was loose. Okay, I hope that's you. No, that's me. Oh, they don't want nothing. So did you want them hanging towards your face or towards the side? Or I mean, I just go with gravity unless you have any other.
Just like all around.
Okay. But nothing directly in your face, or yes, something.
Yeah.
Okay, because that needs to be clear. Because I'm not gonna do that without being told to, right? Because people gotta see. But I know you young guys, y'all don't be caring about seeing that much. Try this one more time. I think I need a better comb. I didn't notice that tip was broken off. Yeah. I was gonna say this hair just don't want to go into my comb over here. That's crazy. But it's in there. See, you got big old curls. Can we see it? Oh, it's not even showing. It's big curls. And so they'll lock if you work with them. If you work against them, eventually, maybe. So you ever seen somebody that's locks are really thick at the ends, but at the scalp they're really, really tiny? You might notice them after you get some. But yeah, they're trying to slide out. I've seen it happen too many times. Okay, my camera do not be focusing. I don't know what to do with it. All right, maybe I was doing something. All right. Yeah, that's when I was saying big old curls. So it's like way behind, like it's way behind. It's supposed to be live. I really don't want you to cut the blonde off now because I already been struggling with it. So might as well keep it. Might as well keep it. It been being a troublemaker back here. I'm trying to see if the camera's even catching it. I don't know. I'm not good at this cameraman thing. I'm not a great cameraman. I got my strengths, okay? People be like, nobody knows everything. I didn't say I know everything. I know everything about this, though. I've been doing it 20 years. I hope that I would know some stuff. I know people that have been doing it longer than me, though, that still don't know stuff. So, you never know. But I just feel like they wasn't paying as much attention. Because I was really paying attention and I was purposefully trying to figure out how it works, why it works the way that it works, so that I can help my customers. Because everybody, when I first was doing it, everybody didn't have great results. When I first was doing it, people got the results according to usually what they asked me, except that it didn't always turn out good. I would do what people asked me back then, but it didn't turn out good. And so now I really don't do what people ask me because they don't know. How are they supposed to know? How are they supposed to know when I'm the one been doing it forever? I should know. And I do. And then the ones that don't want to do that, they just find somebody else to do it, and then they call me when it starts to go bad. And then I could tell them, like, remember when I told you shouldn't do that? That's why. Because it doesn't, the thing about it is it doesn't break off right away. And then even when there's breaking stuff happening, it's still growing, and so it seems like it's good results. And then one day they show up without no hair. I just don't want mine to ever have to show up without no hair. Unless they choose to. It should be a choice to have short hair. Not forced to. And it upsets me because the people with the wigs and the people with the sister locks are not coming out and telling people, hey, my hair started falling out. They just showing up with a bald head and acting like they meant to do that. Whole time their hair fell out and they just keeping that a secret. And it's rude. It's rude to keep that a secret when you could help people. Like somebody should be standing on a podium saying, no, don't get sister locks. I wonder what they're blaming their hair breakage on, since they're obviously not blaming it on the sister locks, which was what it was. They too little. Too little and too big always break. You see it on the wall? Always. Too fat, too skinny. They have to be correct for the curl pattern. And I don't really get to choose when somebody be like, well, I want this size. I'd be like, okay, gotta ask God. If God gave you the curl pattern for that, then hell yeah, I'll hook you up. But if God didn't give you that curl pattern, then I can't give you them locks, or I'm gonna be setting you up for failure in the future. And I don't like setting people up for failure because a lot of times they still be coming to me. That means I got to fix it. So that's not cool. So now, your ends dry really fast, right? The people on the internets would say that water's making your hair dry. Whole time it's just bleach, right? Is water making it dry, or is it drying fast because it's been bleached? Let's think about it. We got to think about what water does. Water dries. It doesn't just stay forever unless it's the ocean. It evaporates and moves around. So even without a blow dryer, it's going to dry. So it's never the water's problem that your hair is feeling dry. There's something else going on. You got to figure out what that something else is and stop blaming it on things that it's not. We blame it on dandruff whole time. We put an oil there, like there's already something coming out. Maybe you have dandruff, but if you didn't put anything there, we wouldn't, unless you stop putting something there, we're never gonna know. Because what you're seeing, that's not dandruff. That's oil mixed with dead skin cells mixed with sweat. It's dirty and it's nasty. All right, we can see it all in the face, so we're gonna go like that. We're gonna go like this here. Is this interesting to watch at all?
Yeah.
I mean, it's your head, so it's probably more interesting to you than maybe others. But I'm going to have to start doing this when I do the kids, because they don't even know how to hold their head. And it's like perfect if you just right there. All right. They back there dumpster diving again. It's for the best, though, because people already be dumping stuff in my dumpster. And I don't even be having no trash in here hardly. So they just be dumping stuff in my dumpster. They forced me to have a dumpster. I don't even need a dumpster. I can take my stuff home. A little bit of trash I have, I can just put it in the back of my truck every time I leave here and just take it home. It don't be that much. But no, they making me have a dumpster. And then other people are the ones that use it. But the dumpster divers, they come get that stuff too. So every now and then it be empty, then it be full, then it be empty. None of it be my trash. But it's a very interesting situation back there. And they didn't even bother to give me a dumpster I can lock anyway. So it ain't like I can keep people from dumping their stuff in my dumpster, and they want $57 a month for it.
It's a requirement?
Yeah, that's what they told me. Told me, you got a door, so you got to have a dumpster back there. And they wouldn't even turn on my water bill without me signing the agreement. It's hooked with the water people. And yeah, they want their $57 for that dumpster specifically. They supposedly pick up every 2 weeks, but I wouldn't know because I don't ever be having nothing hardly any. It's always full when I dump my stuff in there. Ooh, got myself. Turn this way a little bit. We'll see. Just that color. Well, it's bleach. It just instantly wants to tangle on you. So I gotta keep it straight. Well, after they dry, you can count them. We gotta dry now. And actually, I already know our next one is not gonna let me go live on YouTube. So I ain't gonna even hold y'all. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.